How many people you killed?
About 36 people. You
36 people, man. Y'all see the title, man. The deadliest cartel killer of all time. They nicknamed him the Black Hand. Boy, that means when he put that on you, it's over with. Don't let him
can't
get his
imagine
hands on
some
you.
people have told me
Ooh-wee.
when they hired me to go and kill a person for them. After I get paid, they told me, you know what, Martinez? I feel a weight has lifted from my heart.
The Mexican drug cartels are famous for being very violent. They often torture
Very
and kill
violent.
people in horrible ways, but some cartel hitmen are extra scary for how easily they can kill. One of these was Jose Manuel Martinez. Martinez worked for the cartels in California for over 30 years. During this time, he murdered more than 36 people in many different states. The cartels would pay Martinez to get rid of people they did not like.
Shit, that ain't bad though. I'm not gonna lie. 30 years and I gotta kill 36 people. That's a person a year. He wasn't really doing nothing. He was consistent, but he was not going that crazy.
He would kill
That's
anyone
a
he was told
person a
to
year.
without feeling any guilt. Because he was so good at killing, Martinez earned the nickname El Mano Negra. This means the Black Hand in Spanish. In this video,
Yeah.
we will look at how Martinez killed for the cartels for so many years without being caught. But in the end, he was found and punished for his many crimes. Jose Manuel Martinez was born in 1962 in Fresno, California, to immigrant parents from Mexico. He spent the joyful, carefree days of his early childhood playing in the Central California farmlands. When Jose was only 11 years old, his family moved back to Mexico. Moving to an unfamiliar country was likely an enormous culture shock.
After I learned to walk and talk, we moved to Cozala, Sinaloa.
For the next few years, Jose lived in his family's native Mexico, balancing school and helping provide for his
That's
family.
where that shit
However,
started,
the
right
prospect
there.
of better economic opportunities continued. So at 15 years old, Jose returned with his family to California, this time settling down in Erlamart, deep in rural Tulare County. In the 1970s, Tulare County remained a vastly agricultural area, dotted with dusty towns supporting the surrounding farms and vineyards. The Martinezes hoped for a brighter future there. However, job
They did not get brighter, man. They got a whole lot darker for their head.
prospects
What?
proved scarce in the largely immigrant, non-English speaking communities. Poverty plagued Erlamart and nearby small farm towns.
I remember that people were making fun of me because I didn't know how to speak English. So I told my mom I was going to kick this kid out because he said I should go back to Mexico. On him, that I don't belong in the United States.
With limited options to support his family, Jose's stepfather became involved in organizing manual laborers for the booming vineyards sprouting up across the county. The job offered subsistence, but hardly prosperity.
My stepdad was a drug dealer. He likes to party. He bought me a real nice Honda bike. I liked my stepdad and my
Yup, blame your mama. It was your mama's goddamn fault. She wanna fuck around with them rich niggas. Now look, your son is a killer, mama. Your son is a killer. It's your fault.
respect.
Seeking
You should have stayed with the real dad.
additional income, Jose's stepfather turned to also dealing drugs on the side out of the family home, an isolated ranch providing the perfect discreet location removed from the eyes of law enforcement. By the time Jose was 16 years old, he followed his stepfather into
Of
the underground
course.
economy to help provide for his family. Jose made an ideal drug courier, given his bilingual abilities and his unassuming appearance as an American-born citizen. Just a teenager himself, Jose was entrusted with moving high-stakes shipments of heroin and other contraband as he traveled relatively suspicion-free across state lines. This early entrance into criminal networks would profoundly shape Jose's future.
He was
It ingrained
16,
deeply
living
within
like
him the
that.
skills, contacts, and corrupted mindset that made the way for the killer he would
That
become.
mustache
In
gotta go, my
1977,
boy.
Still a young man of only 15, Jose's livelihood running drugs suffered an abrupt setback. Sheriff's deputies descended on the Martinez family ranch in a dramatic raid. Acting on an insider tip, they busted the property and uncovered a massive cache worth $2.5 million, equivalent to around $10 million today. Such a monumental seizure likely sent ripples through the California drug world. It represents
They had M's in the crib? Nah, they moving real different. I would have had that shit in real estate invested off. I'm not having a meal cash, bro. You asking to get robbed, burnt, something. You tripping.
Presented both a major financial hit and a breach of security for whoever supplied the heroin that ended up stashed on the Martinez ranch. The drug trafficking machinery that supported Jose's family was torn apart, and Jose himself, still an impressionable teenager, witnessed firsthand the forces of order disrupting his unlawful world. This too would color Jose's perspective in ways that pushed him deeper down a criminal path from which he would never truly return.
I would do anything for my
Ain't no
family.
returning. You got 36. You got 36 bodies. Ain't no returning. It's over with. I don't even think you could pray after that. You can't even pray. Nah, it's over for you.
Anything
It's done.
my life. Whatever they want, I give them. Okay?
In 1978, the relative calm of ranch life in Early Mart was ruptured by a sinister crime resonating through the small town: the murder of young Cecilia Martinez. Cecilia was Jose's beloved teenage sister. When the sheriff informed the grieving Martinez family that Cecilia's injured body had been discarded in an alley, the community was consumed by
Don't
the
tell me
shocking
he did
tragedy.
it.
So when he told me, hey bro, can you take me to New York to meet this guy? I said, sure, sister, why not? And I
Also, somebody killed his little sister. Yep, this the first guy that got it. I know it was. I know he got the worst of it. This body number one right here. This
my
is
sister
first
to this
murder.
little
I'm telling
house
you. I already know.
to find her stupid friend. Well, I didn't feel comfortable going inside with her.
Jose himself was reportedly the last to see Cecilia alive when she left their ranch the night prior.
Okay, months passed by and she never came home. First, they found her car, and then they found her body.
Under the veneer, the brutal loss of his sister surely left Jose reeling. By many accounts, growing up, Jose was a caring and devoted brother within the family, despite his criminal activities outside the home. This gentle interior persona hid a building rage that would soon violently unleash itself. In whispered street talk around Erlemart, rumors implicating a local man named David Badola in Cecilia's rape and murder gradually caught fire in Jose's mind. Though authorities could not tie Badola to
He
the
on
crime
his-
with evidence,
He's
Jose
coming
took the
for
tales
him.
of his alleged involvement
is coming
straight to the
for
heart.
him.
He spiraled internally, with feverish anguish and visions of revenge over his beloved sister Cecilia's tragic fate.
I didn't want to give the full explanation because I want to get them. I didn't want the cops to find them. I want to find them myself.
Less than a year after his sister's
Now
death,
you
in the
thinking.
summer of
Now
1979,
you thinking,
a
let's
new
go.
wave of grief and violence unexpectedly shattered the community. David Badola,
I hope he
age
got his
21,
ass, too.
turned up dead in an alley with execution-style bullet wounds piercing his temple. Investigators marked
Damn. Temple shot up close? Woo, boy. Knocked his brains out.
Badola's slaying as clearly premeditated, but the executioner and motives behind the attack remained undefined for decades to come. 35 years later, Jose Martinez would, at last, confess to pulling the trigger on David Badola in vengeance for his sister.
We went
Got
to
to.
this little house. We broke in there, and we found one. I shot him. There was a dish.
This is not a crime if you ask me. This is not a crime. This is justified right here. This street justice.
Having eliminated the man rumored responsible for his
Deserve that
sister's
shit.
death, Jose retreated for a period back into California's Central Valley underground. Now 17 years old, he bobbed between agricultural and criminal circles in the backwaters of Tulare County, likely connected via family drug trade ties rooted in Mexico's Sinaloa cartel. An opportunity arose the next year to professionalize his adolescent forays into violence. An unnamed Mexican contact from Jose's drug-running circles approached him with a new offer: a contract killing with a $500 bounty. The target was an aging Mexican immigrant farmhand.
We got millions and $500. What? I can't buy nothing. I can't even pay rent. You want me to kill somebody over that? It's a Walmart check.
Accused of molesting a young female relative, Jose pursued the
That better
assignment
just be
with the
an
steel
entry
purpose
or
of an
something.
avenging angel, stalking his victim down relentlessly. He ultimately located Contreras at the ranch in Exeter, California, where he worked. There, Jose conducted his second known execution, earning his first payment as a contract killer at just 18 years old. This cold-blooded assassination for hire represented Jose's full transformation from an angry vigilante into a detached mercenary, Whatever remnants of empathy or morality that lingered inside were silenced for good in favor of the monster Jose would become over the next 30 years. Details surrounding the origins of Jose's ties to Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel remain murky. Most signs point back to long-running connections through his stepfather's Central Valley drug operations, possibly predating even
stepdad
Jose's
started
early
all of
years. Wherever the nexus between Jose Martinez and the multinational trafficking empire emerged, violent California gang networks likely facilitated formal introductions. In the early 1980s, Jose found himself steadily pulled deeper into the orbit and employ of the sprawling criminal conglomerate. The Sinaloa leadership spotted the young Jose's unique assets from early on, his passed-over Mexican heritage.
Unique assets? No, they know he is a crash-out dummy. He'll do whatever for $500. Apparently.
Coupled with American citizenship that allowed him to traverse borders with relatively little scrutiny, not to mention his apparent absence of remorse and abundance of streetwise charm. Jose carried out hits up and down the state of California throughout the 80s and 90s. Alongside contract executions, Jose developed into a prolific debt collector for the cartel, tracking down Central Valley dealers and farmhands behind on payments and brutally threatening them towards repayment. Ironically, despite his underground infamy regionally as a fearsome cartel enforcer, Jose seemed to lead an otherwise mundane existence on the surface. Neighbors in Erlemart would see him cheerfully watering his lawn and exchanging pleasant waves. He maintained committed relationships with his children and grandchildren. This inconspicuous exterior and amiable personality aided Jose in deftly avoiding the authorities' crosshairs for decades. He familiarized himself casually by name at the local Erlemart Sheriff's Department and even volunteered himself for civilian roles like providing information or participating on a community law enforcement advisory panel.
Wow, he tried to finesse. He tried to look like the good guy. No, sir. No, sir. He tried to snitch. He was trying to snitch on other cases to get the eye off him. And he crazy.
Throughout the 80s and 90s, Jose faced periodic arrests
That
and
shit was
minor
working,
charges
too.
related to drugs, weapons, or his associates. Officers would pull him over to discover unregistered firearms or raid local properties, finding Martinez present alongside illicit activity. But with his name only loosely connected to various unsolved homicides, charges never stuck firmly enough to take Jose off the streets for long. By 2006, Jose Martinez was well entrenched as a cartel enforcer, operating with impunity in California's Central Valley. However, the chance to earn extra cash and gain standing within the sprawling drug empire.
Damn, they never gave my boy a promotion or nothing. Shit. That man been enforcing for a minute. Yeah, they using him. Nah, he getting used. He better be getting paid or something.
Enticed him to accept an out-of-state hitman assignment from his Sinaloa leadership contacts. Jose landed in Tampa Bay, Florida, over 2,500 miles from his California home base. There, he patiently went about trailing a mid-level cartel dealer, apparently late repaying debts, named Javier Huerta. Mr. X, the mysterious Sinaloa figure who frequently contracted Jose, needed someone reliable to track down the missing money and send an unequivocal message about the consequences of stealing from the cartel. For Jose, the trip meant a chance to provide for his family and inch upwards in responsibility.
My friend picked me up. I told him, I'm here. So what's the fucking problem? My friend told me, I want $170,000 on this guy. So I follow him.
After several days of tailing Javier Huerta, Jose accumulated the necessary intelligence for his strike. Huerta regularly associated
Was
with a partner
stalking him
named
for
Moises
days.
Gonzalez. Late at night in a remote industrial area, Jose approached the two unsuspecting men. Without hesitation, he raised his pistol and dispatched each man methodically with 4 bullets, his signature kill shots to the head and neck. With 2 bodies bleeding out inside Huerta's borrowed pickup truck, Jose cruised towards the sprawling wilderness surrounding Tampa with the 2 fresh kills in tow. He sought an isolated resting place to dispose of the grisly evidence of his violence amidst Florida's swampy interior. Pulling off the remote access road, Jose dragged the 2 corpses out into the brush. He ensured their arms and wrists were tightly bound behind their backs with zip ties, a chilling signature. Satisfied the scene conveyed the intended message about stealing from the Sinaloa cartel, Jose sped off for the airport and a flight back to California. Much to investigators' later confusion, Jose hopped a plane skywards again and headed east. This time, he landed safely in Alabama, a region with no cartel ties or obvious motivation. There, Jose soaked up quality time with his beloved daughter and grandchildren in the quiet Birmingham suburbs as if nothing was amiss. In particular, Jose put great energy and care into celebrating his 3-year-old granddaughter, Gabby's birthday.
He went
The
right back to
incongruous
regular
image of
life.
the devoted family man.
You gotta be a complete psychopath to do some shit like this and just go on with your life. Crazy.
Generously doting on his grandchild so soon after ruthlessly executing 2 strangers haunted detectives years later.
I got her.
I really wonder how he sleep at night. 36. We talking about 36 murders.
Me and you, we're gonna walk in the store, and for 1 hour, you can pick whatever you want.
Meanwhile, back at the muddy, mosquito-ridden murder scene of a desolate Florida access road, events proceeded with less serenity. It took 2 weeks before a random passerby reported an abandoned pickup truck visible from the pavement down a dirt entry path. Responding officers traced it back to the missing owner, Javier Huerta, last tracked traveling towards Tampa. Cautiously approaching the vehicle, investigators
hell no, you
peered
should have
inside,
burned the
only
whole
to recoil
vehicle.
instantly
Just
from the
burned it.
gruesome sight of 2 bodies, slouched lifeless
Why you
in
gonna
the
leave
front
it there?
seats. Bloody entry and exit wounds marked where bullets had shredded through their skulls. Tusks of skin had been torn from around the wounds, evidence they were shot at intimate range before being hauled unceremoniously to the woods for disposal. With confusion and few leads to chase in the clinical execution attack, processing dragged on the scene late into the humid Florida night. Investigators preserved an emptied Mountain Dew bottle with a cigarette butt floating at the bottom too, seemingly mundane, yet offering future hope of traces left by an attacker. 3 violent years passed before Jose resurfaced to claim another victim, this time back home in his familiar California haunts. Perhaps he sought to rebuild standing, given whispers that a competitor assassin poached his cartel business, or more likely, an opportunity simply materialized that Jose's killer instinct could not ignore. Jose stalked a mid-20s Tulare farm laborer named Joaquin Barragan, rumored to be selling methamphetamine on the side. Such brazen diversion of profits attracted lethal cartel punishment, and Jose accepted a job from his Sinaloa contact for $8,000
How much he get paid this
cash.
time?
Jose gladly obliged. Jose
Man, he be getting cheated out of his bread. 8? Just 8? You doing all this killing and you broke. You broke. Man, you could work a minimum wage job and get paid more than this. That's insane. 8? Man, I could teach you ways how to get 8. That's crazy.
ended the young man's defiant ambitions with a bullet to the skull from point-blank range in time-worn mafia fashion. He wrapped the fresh corpse hastily in a bedsheet and abandoned the body to rot amidst Tulare County's vast farm country. Reports quickly filtered back, confirming a ruthless Sinaloa gun-for-hire named El Mano Negra, the Black Hand, carried out the cold-blooded assassination. Jose's prolific 30-year rap sheet of escalating infractions beyond petty arrests mounted, yet astoundingly, charges refusing to fully stick to Tulare County's Teflon outlaw. In early 2013, Jose Martinez embarked from California on yet another long-haul trek halfway across America. He voyaged to Alabama, not for cartel business, but for the ultimate labor of paternal love, family revenge. While visiting his adult daughter in the Birmingham suburbs, a perceived slight against her provoked the eruption of decades of pent-up homicidal rage simmering beneath Jose's usually charming facade. The inciting events reportedly began at a low-key social gathering between Jose's extended family and some local friends. One such Alabama buddy in attendance, Jose Elcano Ruiz, casually taunted Jose's daughter over her failed marriage and challenged raising 2 children alone. Ruiz offered,
You fucked up. You fucked up. This one thing I learned about me living in Texas. You don't want no beef with no Mexicans. You don't know what ties they got. I'm telling you. You think it's somebody regular. No, sir. You don't know who her daddy was. Now look at you. I just know you caught the worst of it. I don't even got to hear the story. I know.
handedly and foolishly, called Jose's only daughter a terrible mother, undeserving of her kids. These carelessly uttered words unleashed the floodgates of violence within the man known throughout California's Central Valley
Look at them
as
eyes,
El Mano
boy.
Negra. To insult his flesh and blood,
The black
meant a death
hand finna
sentence.
put the
In
smack
days
on you.
following the thoughtless verbal affront, Jose stalked Ruiz's movements around Birmingham with vengeance raging fiercely in his heart. When the moment seemed ripe, Jose convinced Ruiz, along with another son-in-law, Jamie Romero, to join him for a drive to scope out rural properties. This unlikely trio of family acquaintances wound into the secluded backroads of Bankhead National Forest. Parking the car and casually wandering the stand of woods, Jose and the two other men strolled while chatting about the surroundings. Drawing the pistol secreted in his waistband, Jose confronted Ruiz about his reckless words towards Jose's daughter. He unloaded 2 abrupt shots into Elcano Ruiz's startled face at point-blank range. Jamie Romero stood frozen in abject shock and fear at the swift, cold-blooded execution of his relative. Fleeing the horrific murder scene with Jamie Romero held hostage, Jose forced him at gunpoint to drive in wavering silence back to suburbia while contemplating his next moves. Jose knew Romero represented a dire loose end, threatening exposure of his explosion of uncontrolled violence. Yet murdering his own son-in-law certainly further complicated scenarios. Once safely back within cell phone range, Jose instructed the petrified Romero to maintain his silence before releasing him physically unharmed but deeply traumatized. Meanwhile, before detectives traced his presence in Alabama, Jose hastily threw together bags and hit the road, immediately winding west into the protective embrace of his Earlimart, California home base. Having created over 2,500 miles now between himself and any proof placing him with Jose Ruiz, Jose felt confident regarding his short-term future safety. However, fate dealt Jose an unforeseeable stroke of destiny. Sheriff deputies in Tulare County raided his family home in Earlimart, searching not for Jose, but instead for his son, implicated in a petty robbery. In a futile attempt to evade detention, Jose scrambled hurriedly out the back door directly into the arms of Deputy Sheriff Crystal Darrington. In an improbable coincidence for America's most prolific active contract killer, Darrington's partner casually identified Jose as the notorious El Mano Negra. This presented the Tulare County Sheriff's Office with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to finally cage the law enforcement legend who had slipped the grasp of justice for an entire career. Yet blinded by Jose's non-threatening charm and presence around town, the deputies fatefully released him that day. In return for voluntary information on illegal firearms trading, they granted Jose freedom while failing completely to recognize the actual wolf standing directly before them in grandmother's clothes.
So he snitched.
Back in Florida, the long, stagnant double homicide investigation from 2006 suddenly roared back to life 7 years later. The case changelog was updated in 2013 thanks to California authorities pursuing a person of interest named Jose Martinez across state lines. They contacted Detective TJ Watts in Tampa regarding a DNA hit off that 7-year-old recovered cigarette butt, placing Martinez at the Florida murder scene.
They found DNA on the cig. It be the little shit that take you down. It be the little shit. It be the little shit that gonna take you down. You did all that planning, all that cover up, and you left a cigarette? Oh, man.
Watts soon uncovered Martinez's half-century of violence as a contract.
I mean, I knew he wasn't the smartest when he was taking about 500 just
Watts focused scrutiny
for a hit
on Jose Martinez for ordering the Avila brothers' 2006 execution. An opportunity had emerged finally to tie together decades of dots if Jose's trail could pick up again. Within days of the fateful missed chance to nab Martinez in Central California, detectives there orchestrated his capture immediately upon crossing the Mexican border into Arizona. Far from the comfortable confines of rural Tulare County, Jose found himself isolated, caged, and transported across state boundaries into the hands of strangers. Flying immediately to Arizona before Jose got word to Confederates, Alabama detective Tim McWhorter, accompanied by Florida's TJ Watts, urgently sought a legal toehold to wrangle Martinez into deeper investigation. They assumed that while jailed and cut off from cronies, his sociopathic arrogance might lead to small admissions they could leverage for warrants and court orders. The opportunity had arrived at last. If Martinez could be outwitted psychologically to bring down the mythical contract killer who had haunted authorities for 30 years. Romero, however, had made a deal for his freedom by exposing Jose's murder of Ruiz in Alabama. When Detective McWhorter brought Jose to Alabama, he expected Jose to deny or minimize his role or blame everything on Romero. Shockingly though, Jose readily confessed to killing Ruiz and the 2006 Florida murder. Jose admitted being a cartel hitman, and he confessed to over 35 murders total. The police carefully
Why?
investigated each confession. Some cases were too old to
Why?
solve conclusively, but officers decided Jose killed over 40 people across 30 years and multiple states. He was tried and convicted for roughly half of the murders.
What did you get from telling on yourself? I don't get it. You did all that running for all them years just to tell on yourself? Slow. He is realized he off in the head, man. J3, I'm gone, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Black Hand cartel serial killer.